You alright guys, how's it going? It is David Clayton from KZR Racing once again, and welcome back to my F1 Manager 22 career mode for round number 17 of Season 2 at the Singapore Grand Prix. If you guys did miss the last episode, do feel free to check out my channel. The playlist will be there with all the episodes before. Not too much to do before Singapore, apart from the regulation vote results and the research being completed for next year on two of our parts, which is the suspension and chassis. One of the main ones is the rear wing, but that's not going to be done until, I think, a couple of more weeks later. But as we had a pretty decent race last year, Gasly got another P4 in his race, whereas Sebastian had an absolutely horrible time in the Italian Grand Prix. An all wet Italian Grand Prix, but when we got to the end of the race, unfortunately, it didn't really matter. I guess Vettel was so far behind that he couldn't really make much of a difference, even pitting first onto the soft tyres, and then locked up another time just for good measure. So pretty good race for Gasly though. He's still holding his place ahead of Hamilton and Russell in the championship. And I'm pretty certain, yeah, that's 3 races in a row. Gasly has been top 4 in those races, with a P3 at Belgium. But going into Singapore, we are slowly starting to fall back in terms of development to the other guys around us, but we are prepping now for next season. We're committed to that. So regulation, this is what we're looking for. The regulation changes for the financial regulations. The majority against these changes, so the below financial regulations will not be included as part of next year. So, yep, so Mercedes actually voted for it, but everyone else, including Williams for some reason, decided to vote against it. But yeah, Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull, all the people bar Mercedes you would have expected. And AlphaTauri actually voted against its parent team. That's a bit of a surprise. Is there dissension among the ranks, possibly, in the Red Bull family? Never know. So, poor condition on the Racing Simulator. That's going to be 900k after 11 days. That's fine. We got plenty of money after the results that we've been getting over the last several races. And if we go to the cars, we have 12 days for the chassis, 11 days for the suspension, 34 for the rear wing. So when those are done, I believe we have 2 more we have 2 more aerodynamic periods, which is, so this is the reset in October. Oh no, that's that's it. So yeah, October is going to be the last one. So that'll be the last bit of aerodynamic work we do for this year. So at the moment we've got, what about the guys? Let's have a look. No development points needed for them, and none for the staff either. So, as things stand at the moment, we'll skip ahead. See if anything else comes up. So, the race simulator has been refurbished, and we will also get the suspension for next year. So now, I'm starting to get a few more things in poor condition. So, boardrooms. So, 400k to do that. Go back to here. And the CFD, 4.9 to do the CFD. Well, that is a hit and a half. So now, if we go back to the calendar, or the inbox, I should say. Yep, the suspension research. Everything seems to be all in order there. with downforce, drag reduction. Trying to do more. I'm trying to do a little bit more with the airflow and the cooling and that as well on all these things. Because we are suffering from a lot more tyre wear than everyone else around us. Even if we're on the standard setting, we seem to be like by the end of the descent we have like 5% more tyre wear than everyone else around us. So I'm having to do various bits as well to balance it between drag reduction and engine cooling. But at the moment, everything seems to be in tune. So for now, board check-in, confidence. Yeah, they have high confidence. We have been we have been performing above and beyond. Well, I say we. Gasly has been performing above and beyond. And yeah, everything's pretty much the same as it has been before. As you can see, if you look at brake cooling and engine cooling, we're 19th. That's pretty terrible. And yeah, high speed and medium speed below par, but the low speed we're actually not too bad. So hopefully with Singapore, the nature of that circuit, that should be hopefully a little bit better race for us. So performance targets, qualifying position. So we'll do reach Q2. The way things have been going, I'm not going to test that one. So finishing position streak, finishing 15th. Yep, so that's all good to go. So let us go into the Singapore Grand Prix. Okay, with practice 1, I am going to stick Jack in the car, get a little bit more experience on him. Also, this is a considerable punishment for Vettel for doing what he ended up doing at Italy. He could have had somewhat of a decent result because he was working his way up the field slowly, but he just ended up locking up all the time. So we're going to simulate this session with doing in the car. So don't usually read too much into the first practice. So, oh, and there's penalties galore here. Verstappen, Leclerc, Hamilton, Bottas, Alonso, Gasly 9th. So that's encouraging, like opening thing. And then obviously Jack not up to the scratch of Gasly or Sebastian is down here. So, like I said, I don't usually read too much into that, but he usually gets decent self-confidence. He's got 46 as it turns out. So I'm going to skip ahead to the end of practice 3 because we know all the ins and outs of practice and qualifying by now. So unless something major happens, we will see you at the end of practice and before we start qualifying. Right, we've just cut in towards the end of practice 2 because Gasly has binned it on the exit. Pierre, that was not what I needed. Especially as you were in the middle of finding out your second setup. This is going to be one of those episodes, guys. I can feel it. We sucked. We absolutely sucked. There's no other word for it. 87.72 on the setup confidence. Gasly not only had his crash out in practice 2, he also spun in practice 3. So I just called him straight back in because I just wanted him to stop breaking the bloody car. So now we've only got 3 of our front wings left. How many chassis we got? Oh, we actually have no spare chassis. So if Gasly breaks anything else, we are pretty much done for the weekend. And we're all yeah. Just there. I'm absolutely shocked with Gasly in that practice. I can't believe he went and did what he did. Twice, for that matter. So Right, we're just gonna go into the qualifying now and hope for the best, really, because it's going to be a miracle if we even score points this race. Right, last lap on Gasly's Q2 as he comes across the line and just misses out. P11 for Gasly and P16 for Sebastian. Better than what I thought we would end up with after what happened in practice, but can't complain. Can't complain. We've also got a whole raft of penalties as well, so that's going to bump at least Gasly a little bit further up the order as well. So we will skip through to this screen here, and 14th for Sebastian, 8th for Gasly. And apparently the tyre wear is not as bad around Singapore as what we originally thought it would be, so fill the cars up completely. So what is the tyre life actually? So let's have a look at that. Yeah, that's not it's doable, but is it really worth it though? That's the thing. Because even if it's a long time to go on the softs, we could flip it round. That's not out of the realm of possibility. So if we do it like this, lap 36, is what that's saying. It's probably worth a try. So we will do that for Gasly. It's going to be a bit audacious, but again, we've got plenty of spares of soft tyres, so if needs be, we can just whack on a set of hards or go for a two-stop. It don't really matter. So let's give this a try for Sebastian as well. Do that. Flip the strategies round. We'll go 37 with Sebastian because he can look after his tyres a lot better than Gasly. So let us do that. So this is going to be a bit of a brazen strategy, but I do feel it's probably the better. So with that in mind, let us we're definitely doing the fuel usage and aggressive off the line. And deploy at the start, so get both guys on that. We can switch them back after the start as and when. So without further ado, let us go to the Singapore Grand Prix.
It looks like clear skies tonight, with the drivers now in their grid positions. There we have Pierre Gasly. They're in the front half of the pack, so there's plenty of potential for them. And for the second driver, it's Sebastian Vettel. They're in the back half of the pack, so they'll need to work hard if they want a podium finish. The teams are ready to go. We're just moments away from the Singapore Grand Prix.
All right, 5 red lights.
And it's lights out.
And we are away. So let's see how well Gasly gets off the line. Not that was Sebastian we were following. Sorry, Gasly still holds his position. So back to neutral for both guys on the ERS. Sebastian too has held his position, so that's ideal. So it's just a case of right now, Gasly's got Hamilton behind him, with Haas and Alfa Romeo of Bottas ahead fighting for positions. So Gasly should be able to keep pace with them at least. As for Sebastian, he's got Ricardo and Albon for company. Down in P14. Bit of a subdued start this time from everyone, but honestly, it's a lot... very short run down to turn 1 on Singapore, so it's not all that surprising. As we watch on board with Gasly. He's got a reasonable gap to Hamilton, so long as he can... as long as he can stick with Bottas. Magnussen's already pulled away a little bit from the Alfa Romeo, as he's got onto the back of George Russell. No, sorry, Norris, sorry, who's on George Russell. And then for top 3, Perez, Sainz and Verstappen. Verstappen must have only got on a 5-place grid penalty. I couldn't find out exactly what there were. But Hamilton, I think a lot of them only got 5 places because Hamilton's only P9. Who else got a grid penalty? It was Leclerc. Leclerc's down near the back of the grid, so he obviously took a full raft of penalties. As opposed his teammate, as opposed to, sorry, not his teammate. Don't know what I'm brains fuzzled at the moment. Sorry, as opposed to Verstappen and Hamilton. Alonso was another one who took some penalties, but again, that seems to be only 5 places, so it must have been gearbox changes for those guys. But at the moment, Gasly, unfortunately, is slowly starting to slip away from Bottas because Hamilton's pressurising him. And the same story with Sebastian. Although he's not really been pressurised by Albon too much, so he should be able to stick with Ricardo for a little while longer. I just need Gasly to try and stay within the DRS of Bottas ahead. Which isn't going to happen because he's already fallen out as I say that. So Gasly's going to be susceptible to Hamilton on the next lap, unfortunately. As regards to the tyres, well, it's understandable. Gasly, Ocon, Vettel, Tsunoda and Stroll, we're the only ones who started on the medium tyres. Everyone else has started on softs. So the soft tyres should go away from these guys after a while, but we're just we're going to be in a very stagnant period. We're going to be very stagnant for this race while we're doing this long stint onto the soft tyres at the end. So I don't know. I don't know how the race is going to pan out in this way because the majority of them have like I said, they started on the softs. As you can see, Gasly is having to lose time to Bottas just to keep Hamilton behind him. But I don't think it's going to matter too much. Hamilton makes the dive into turn 7 and gets past relatively easily. It's unfortunate. But like I said, we're slipping a little bit further and further back in the development race towards the end of this season because we're focusing on next season as opposed to what we can gain this season. So Gasly, in order to make this stint work, I'm going to put these guys down onto standard on their tyres just to ensure that they make the stint. So I'm going to cut away for a little bit now and see how the guys do later on when obviously the tyre wear starts kicking in for the soft tyre guys. Saying that, we've just cut back to a safety car. We've just cut back to a safety car. Full safety car period has come out. Albon has caught Sebastian, overtaking him as I took him off. Aggressive on his tyres. But now this gives us the opportunity to... And it's Magnussen who's crashed out. Magnussen was up chasing Norris for P4. And again, it's at this hairpin. And he... Magnussen almost wiped out Norris there as he charged in. Charged in to try and keep up with him. Now, I wonder if that has... He's not on the display. He is out of the race. So, I'm going to put these guys... it is full safety car, so I may as well just put these guys on conserve on everything. There's no reason not to, because we're all going to catch up to the safety car anyway. The field is actually still pretty close together, actually. I'm quite surprised at that. But I think that's because Verstappen has only just got to the front of this queue. Originally, I thought it was Perez, and he was holding up the queue. But no, as it turns out, Verstappen got ahead of that queue. But early safety car, so no need to pit in. No one's pitting in, so it's not really a surprise. But this gives us a chance to save our tyres and our fuel, so we can push a little bit harder in this stint now to actually challenge some of these soft tyre runners just before their stops. So it's not as bleak as I thought it was going to be, considering our pace, but we should still hopefully have a good position, hopefully by when these soft tyre guys come in, which should be around about lap, what I would say 25, I think that they would be coming in. So we got 10 laps more in our tyres than what they do, but we're going to be on a fresher and faster set at the end of the race. So it's looking good. It's looking good so far. As you heard there, the safety car's going to be coming in. So we're going to get on to... Whereabouts are we on the circuit? So get on to aggressive and pushing. And aggressive and pushing as well. Sebastian, I'm going to play a little bit longer game, so I'm not going to touch his ERS, but as soon as we get into a good position with Gasly, I want to start trying to get him back into the action. So let's overtake. Gasly gets himself into a position where he's actually alongside Hamilton at the final corner. Verstappen's really holding this safety car queue up, and now we're going. And Gasly, he didn't quite get the jump on Hamilton. But now, go to neutral. So, yeah, Verstappen really held that safety car restart right until the last possible moment there. I'm quite surprised at that. Normally they would go before they get to that last corner and try and get a good run down the straight, but it's not the sort of thing you would normally see from anyone like that. I think the only driver that I knew would do that sort of thing was Jenson Button. He would back the entire pack right up and leave it until the last possible second to go, and that paid dividends in some cases, but it was also a really risky strategy to do, as Gasly unfortunately is already losing time to Hamilton ahead, as as we look at the tyre wear. So, I just heard it. I just heard a thud right as I switched to that camera. There's multiple cars behind, I'm hoping it's behind Sebastian. It is. He hasn't been collected by anyone, so...
Multiple cars, I think.
And there's multiple cars involved, and there's a red emblem. Is it? Oh, it is Charles Leclerc. Has he been collected by Magnussen? He's yeah, he has. Magnussen's gone for the lunge and tapped him round. Or is that Hulkenberg? It might actually be Hulkenberg. And that's brought out VSC. It was Hulkenberg. Right, so let's go back to standard on the tyres, because it's only VSC for both guys. And we'll do balanced on the fuel as well. We don't need to go too hard. It's, well, we've had a lot of action. It's only, what, lap 15, I think? Oh, it's not even lap 10. It's lap 9. Now we're on to lap 9. That's how really weird this race has been. So this is saving the soft tyre runners' tyres, but with the way the fact that we've had 2 early safety cars, I think we got a couple of laps extra in these tyres now, and that means we can push even harder on the soft tyres later. So it's looking it's looking to be a weird race at the moment. Sebastian's still in touch with Albon, with the 2 Williams behind him, because Albon and not Albon, Leclerc and Hulkenberg had their little misadventure. So now, I just noticed, virtual safety car ends soon, so we're going to put these guys back on pushing.
No saving required.
I'm going to leave Vettel on standard on his tyres, but I need to make sure that Gasly sticks with this train to give him the best possible chance later on. So I'm going to be aggressive more with Gasly than I am Sebastian, who, if he can at least stick with Albon for a little while, that should help him out. Although Albon, for whatever reason, has only got 88% on his soft tyres, which I find a little bit weird. Compare that to the guys at the front, although they might be running a set of scrub tyres, so that might explain a lot. And they're just the guys at the back are just being easier on their tyres. But as we follow, DRS is now online, and Gasly is still just within touch. So I can afford now, when we get to the DRS line, as Gasly, he loses a little bit of time out of the corner, but he gains it in the braking zone. So as we cross the safety car line, I can put him back to standard now, as he gets his DRS off of Lewis. Sebastian, meanwhile, he's also got DRS off of Albon. So everyone's, at the moment, it's just in a long DRS train behind Sergio Perez, who's the next car. He's dropped right back from Sainz and Verstappen, so it's going to be these 2 in the early stages fighting for the lead. Perez, who's starting on pole, has slipped away into the grasp of George Russell, who in turn is pulling Norris, Bottas, Hamilton, Gasly, Alonso, Zhou, and I would have said Ocon, but Ocon has actually slipped out of range of Guan Yu Zhou, and he has not got DRS, whereas Ricciardo, Albon and Vettel behind do. So yeah, it's a little bit of mimicry between this F122 and real life. As soon as you fall out of a DRS train, as Gasly has just done, he's just dropped out of range of Hamilton. You do end up being a sitting target, unfortunately. Yeah. So yeah, Gasly's not going to get DRS down the pit straight, unfortunately, but Alonso is probably going to get past us here. No, he doesn't. The benefit of the short straight, you don't have as much opportunity to make the move, but yeah, for now, we'll go back to what we were going to do. We were going to skip ahead because I need these tyres to go the distance. I'll keep an eye on the tyre wear. If the tyre wear is not as bad as what I thought it would be, I'll put them back on aggressive. But as you can see, there goes Alonso. And I get the feeling it won't be long until Zhou gets past us as well. But I need to play the long game here. I can't be a bit impatient with the strategy. So we'll cut away and we'll come back later and see how things are going. Okay, a lot of guys, I thought they were going to lap 25. I was wrong. They just came in on lap 15. Lewis pitted real early. He came in 2 laps ago. But all the front runners have now pitted. So now, and I've just realised as well that both Gasly and Vettel's fuel are on the limit, so I've had to cut them off. But yeah, they've all stopped on lap 15 for the hard tyres. I'm going to be going till lap 35 or 36 with these guys. Onto a set of softs. Now I'm curious, actually. I'm in a bit of a conundrum here, because... Alright, it's about 3 laps later, and everyone else has made their stop. They're all on to... Verstappen, actually, is on mediums. So, is Verstappen's 2-stopping? Verstappen's 2-stopping, because everyone else who started with him, and Perez is 2-stopping. Whereas everyone else has gone on to the hards, except... So it's a mix of 1 and 2 stop. Over the track position. I'm trying to go until lap... Ocon and Stroll have got way more tyre wear than me. By about 6%. And I'm trying to go until lap 35, I believe it was. Well, I've just come back. Vettel has locked up and gone into the wall at exactly the same place as everyone else has, and it's brought out the virtual safety car at the moment. And at the moment, Sebastian's tumbling down the corner, but so far it says he's not out yet. Meanwhile, yeah, I've got pit Sebastian in, so we're forced. Unfortunately, we're forced converting here, so we're going to have to go. Yes, I'm well aware it conflicts my active strategy and overrides it. Car parts, front wing, that's being sorted. So yeah, I'm going to have to pit this lap with Sebastian and put him on the hard tyres. I haven't really got much of a choice, unfortunately. It's been taken completely out of my hands. Meanwhile, as for Gasly, still within DRS of Ocon. But that's going to change quite rapidly because he's got Verstappen, who's now caught up to the back of us. Thing is, I want to try and make this one stop work with Gasly because I do believe it's the better course, better strategy. But then again, it also kind of depends on what Ocon does as well. Okay, end of lap 37. It's time to see. Time to see if this audacious plan is going to work. Ocon has carried on along with Stroll, so I'm the first to bite the bullet on this one. There go the two Mercs. Alonso, no doubt, is... Yep, there's Alonso. There's Norris, Bottas. My main concern, I don't think I'm going to get ahead of Leclerc, but I need to get ahead of this Williams. On go the tyres. As Gasly makes his way towards pit exit. Here comes the Williams, and Gasly should... Yes, he has just gotten out in front of him. Thank you for that, Gasly. Right, push now. Get a move on, mate. About to see if this plan of ours is going to work. Because everyone else is on hard tyres ahead of us and is not stopping. Apart from the two Red Bulls. The two Red Bulls, Ocon and Stroll, have still got to stop. Stroll and Ocon are going to be in within the next lap. But now... And Leclerc as well, for that matter. So we should... We're going to gain at least one place, but it depends on the pace of Stroll and Ocon further up the field. As Stroll is actually coming under attack from the Mercedes of George Russell. So now that we've got... So let's see what Stroll's doing. Is he coming in? No, he's not. He's not come in, and neither has Ocon. So Okay, this is good. This is good. So if we can just blitz in a couple of laps on aggressive with all the fuel we've got, we should hopefully make the undercut work. We'll have to see. And just to prove that point, we've just banged in the fastest lap of the race so far. So we are closing. We've closed up to Leclerc nearly. We're nearly within DRS of him. But not quite. So I've also got to be mindful of the fuel as well. So we know Gasly's on the move right now. So we'll see how he does in relation to Ocon and Stroll when they make their pit stops.
Let's have a look.
And just to
Pierre Gasly.
confound Gasly's pace, he's caught Leclerc, and then at the end of the back straight, round the outside, and there up into P11. Nicely done from Gasly. And not far off Bottas and Norris, so we actually caught up to them really quickly. But now, we are going to be a little bit vulnerable here because Leclerc's going to have the DRS. And Ocon and Stroll have still not stopped. So they're really pushing these tyres. They're going to be a lot better off at the end of the race, but like I said, one safety car and we can just quickly dive in and put another set of softs on because we can. But I do find it weird that they're still not stopping. Mind you, Ocon's keeping pace with Russell. He's still in the DRS of him. But meanwhile, thanks to catching and sticking in the DRS of Leclerc for a few laps, with Gasly, we're not too far away from Bottas and Norris on their hard tyres. We're not gonna. Oh no, we're. Oh no. We just slipped out. We just slipped out of the DRS there. So I get the feeling Leclerc might power past here. Nope. Gasly does well to stick ahead of that. So we're not doing too badly with Gasly. He's now in the DRS range now. Vettel has just been trundling around. There's Verstappen in the background, about to lap him. But he, I suppose he has been slowly catching up to Schumacher. But if only he was in position. If only he was in position. But now we're officially part of this train here with Bottas and Norris. Bottas has just been stuck looking at the back of Norris's rear wing for the best part of about like 10-15 laps now. So we've got Gasly here, so let's get him in the mood. Let's get him on the move, see if he can do anything. And by the looks of it, he's going to have a think about it. He's going to go around the outside of Bottas. We're going to keep him on overtake for a little bit, and he's gotten past Bottas almost instantly. So that is P10 for Gasly. He's into the points, and he's on the back of Lando Norris. So we're looking good. And now we're looking more and more likely, as Ocon's dropped away from Russell big time. So they're going to be coming in soon. But we're looking more and more likely to at least put some cars in between us and them. And Gasly, is he going to make a dive down the inside of Lando? He is. And Gasly has done, in a few corners, what Bottas was unable to do, and that's get past Lando Norris. So Gasly, now that he's got clear air, he's free to get a move on, especially on those fresh tyres. Okay, it's not been that long, but Stroll and Ocon have finally blinked on at the end of lap 44. They've now come into the pits. They've gone behind Leclerc, but Leclerc's stopping again. I know that for a fact. Ocon, Stroll's still in the pits. Ocon's going to come out. He's going to come out just ahead of Zhou. But Stroll has lost out big time here because he's now dropped behind Albon and Ricciardo as well. So Stroll's got a bit of work to do. Meanwhile, Ocon is 13 seconds behind Leclerc. That's how much time they've lost out. As we now just cut back, actually. Gasly, completely on his own. I just gave him a little boost of ERS, but completely on his own. He's just caught Alonso and completely had him over at the end of the first DRS zone. So I'm content to leave Gasly, because I know for a fact that these tyres are going to go to the end. We'll probably be about 40% at the end, but if I leave him on neutral the whole race, that's perfectly fine. So I'm perfectly happy to leave Gasly to do what he needs to do. Right, we've hit a bit of a crossover point. 3 laps to go. And unfortunately, Gasly was reeling in Hamilton. He's got him down to 1.5 seconds, but we've gotten to the point now where, as you can see, Gasly's soft tyres have less wear than Hamilton's hard tyres. We got they're going to go on to the last lap now. Verstappen's already started it. Both him and Perez actually stayed out. They literally made these soft tyre, these mediums, as you can see, 34, 36 on those. As Perez, he's got a lap Sebastian Vettel behind him, and there's Sainz in the background. So now, Gasly starts his last lap, so that's going to be the end of that. Meanwhile, easy race for Verstappen. He has had no problem. I thought he was doing the two-stop. I thought he was going to pull away, make the stop for another set of soft tyres maybe, or another set of mediums and push harder, but he's made it work. He's made it work all the way through this race. And Gasly, Perez has been utterly nowhere compared to his teammate. And Sainz, he just naturally fell away as soon as the pit stops come around, because I think he was one of the early stoppers as opposed to the Red Bulls. But there you go. Max Verstappen wins the Singapore Grand Prix, and that pretty much puts him in the driver's seat for this championship with the last few races left. It's going to be Perez, Sainz rounding out the podium. Russell, Hamilton and Gasly still trying his best to chase him all the way to the line. Getting it down to 1.3. Sebastian crosses the line, P18. Don't really care, unfortunately. He was pretty much the way the race panned out. If there was another safety car, Sebastian probably could have gotten back into it, but as the way it was, that wasn't the case. But there you go, P6 for Gasly, best we could have hoped for given the circumstances.
Well done, good drive. Take the pickup.
And then Alonso, Ocon, Bottas and Norris will round out the top 10. So, all in all, again, not a bad race. Not a bad race. Could have been better, but again, Vettel needs to pick it up. Needs to pick it up at the next race. He needs to pick it up at the next race, because constant mistakes in Italy and a mistake like this at Singapore, where he was going to be in probably around where Lando was. Lando and Stroll in P10. It's not good. It's not good. Drivers' Championship. Gasly is going to have Lewis closing on him very shortly, as long with George Russell, if this keeps up. Ocon pulls ahead of Sebastian in the Drivers' Championship with his result. And as you can see, no change, but yeah, I was right. So Alpine got 10 points to our 8, so we still have a decent lead over them, only losing 2 points. So as we go through practice and qualifying, we've got some decent experience. We've got another development point for Gasly. He's been racking those up. So everything's all looking good. Thankfully, in this scenario, seeing as Vettel didn't finish in P17, we don't have to pay him his bonus clause. So I'll take that. 4.5 million nearly in back into the bank. That covers the refurbishment for the CFD simulator. So we've only got 4 days till Suzuka, and I've got a lot of parts rebuilding to do thanks to Sebastian and Gasly this weekend. Not too happy about that, but we're still in an okay position. We've got 5 rounds left in the championship. We've got Suzuka now, and then we've got the America races. So we got the USA, Mexico, Brazil, and then the final race at Abu Dhabi. And then at the end of what we're going into now, I believe we're into October nearly. Or no, we're still in September. So we got at the end of next month, we'll have the opportunity to design 3 more parts for next year. And hopefully that will help us make that additional step forward that we need to regularly challenge for podiums, hopefully with both cars. But for now, guys, if you did enjoy the episode, do feel free to leave a like and a comment, and turn on share the video around. Sorry, it really helps. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of these videos. I'm David Clayton of KZR Racing, and I will see you next time for the Japanese Grand Prix. Goodbye.